Girl, he pulled me out of that. I don't even know why I'm doubtful right now in this season, because I've been through worse and he pulled me out. Hello y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jalen and we are back with another self-help video. Today we're going to talk about just remaining faithful in your doubtful season. Y'all, this is so hard and people say it all the time and it's not that easy. It is not that easy to stay uplifted after rejection. It is not that easy. People always say, just be faithful, just have faith, just have faith, just have faith. I am evidence of that, and I kind of learned and figured my way through that, and I'm here to help you, okay? I'm here to give you my testimony, my little life update, and I'm also going to give you some like 3 to 4 tips on how to remain faithful in your doubtful season, because it's easier said than done. We're all human. God always wants us to be faithful. God always wants us to have faith in him, but like I said before, we are human and sometimes those worldly emotions get involved and we start to doubt ourselves. So I'm here to help, okay? I've been through it, okay? Period. If you haven't yet, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get into today's video. So my testimony, I'm gonna just backtrack a little bit just so y'all can really follow along on where I've been and where I come from and how I am in this seat telling y'all my testimony today. I'm gonna just give y'all the whole backstory. I graduated college in 2020 and I entered a rotational program at my current job, and basically you did 6 months in one role and 6 months in another role. And after your rotation, you basically get to decide, okay, which rotation do you want to go in full-time. I went in full-time with my second rotation. And in that moment, I didn't really know what I wanted for my life. I didn't really know where I wanted to go in my career. I didn't necessarily even know what was the next step in my career from the position that I was in. I was just happy to have a job, girl. I was working from home. I was set, okay? No worries in the world. Fast forward, I entered my full-time role in July of 2021. And in January of 2022, I received a new manager. So this is manager number 2. I'm like, okay, I've been in this role for quite some time. You know, it's been a year of me doing this. I'm like, you know, I'm ready for a promotion. I'm ready for the next step up. Now, it's not necessarily me moving out of my current team, but it was just like a name change, basically. A level up. Everybody on my team was in a senior role. I was the only one that was like in a junior role. And I'm like, I'm doing the same stuff that they're doing. I feel like I deserve to be in that senior role. So I started having conversations with my manager. This is the manager that became my mentor. I love her. But I started having those conversations with my manager. She's like, oh yeah, I definitely think you're ready for a promotion. Whatever. We talked about it. When year end came, y'all, I got another manager. She ended up leaving and getting a new role in the company, and I was stuck with another manager. And I kept saying to myself, like, why does this keep happening to me? Because every time you get a new manager, you have to reintroduce yourself, you have to reintroduce your goals, and they basically have to relearn you and refigure out if you really need the promotion or not. So it was like this reoccurring cycle. So my new manager came, and I'm explaining to him the same thing. This is probably like somewhere in 2022. And I'm explaining the same things. And he's like, oh yeah, like you can get a promotion. I'm getting recognized for a lot of stuff, y'all. I'm getting recognized. He's telling me that I'm doing great work and all these other things. And then year end hits, which is our promotional period. And I do not get a promotion. They low-key covered it up with a great bonus, but to me the title was way more important than the money, because in your resume you want to see progression. You want to see that you know, were able to show progression and show that you earned a promotion. I was sad. I was really, really sad, especially when my manager like made me feel like I deserved that role. So I'm not sure if it was more of like my manager didn't really fight for me or the company didn't have the money. I don't know what it was, but I didn't get the promotion. I was really, really, really sad, y'all. Fast forward to the beginning of 2023. I'm working. I was like, you know what? I'm about to start applying for new jobs. I started applying for new jobs. I started, you know, just seeing what was out there, and I was getting denied, y'all. Denied after denial, after rejection, after rejection, after rejection. I got one interview, and I freaking sucked at the interview. Like, I got the first interview, made it past the first interview. The second interview with the manager, I did horrible. And I was like, wow, maybe it's not meant to be. So I was like, cool, let me stop applying. I said, I'm going to talk to my manager again. Maybe he'll give me a promotion for this next year. And so it's the end of 2022. We're going into 2023. I'm like, oh, God, please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you, please give me a promotion. Please, 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 please. It was time for our mid-year review. And usually they rate you from exceeding, you know, middle, meets, and then didn't meet expectations or something like that. And so this is around the same time that my company was really focused on return to office, and they wanted us in the office 3 days a week. I personally was having a hard time doing that because I started working in COVID, and I hated going into the office. Like, it was just such a drain for me. So like some days, some weeks, I would not go in. Or like I went in 2 days, I went in 1 day. Like, I just really didn't really care. Before mid-year hit, my manager was like, hey, you need to start coming back into the office. Like, they're really starting to look into this. So about like March-ish, I was like, okay, Jalen, we're gonna go to the office. So I was going to the office. Like, I was on it all the time. Then mid-year hit, which is like June, July, and my manager hit me with the do not exceeds in my mid-year review. It wasn't because of my work ethic. It wasn't because of my productivity. It was more so because of the return to office became basically a metric in our reviews. So since I wasn't meeting the average since the beginning of the year, they decided to rate me low, which was very discouraging. And I was like, God, like, what is it? Like, why do I keep getting rejected? Why do all these things keep happening to me with this job? I can't get a promotion. Like, I'm doing everything that I can. And then something hit me. It was kind of like, Jalen, you're not doing everything that you can. You're not even doing the bare minimum. You're not even coming into the office 3 days a week. How do you expect a promotion out of that? How do you expect somebody to promote you when you're not even doing the bare minimum? You're not even doing everything you can, and everything you feel like, oh, you doing the work, you're doing this, but that's not everything. Like, do the bare minimum. Do the freaking bare minimum. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come to the office. And then I kind of gave up. Like, I was applying to jobs here and there, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to go for promotion another time at the end of the year. End of the year come where I'm still having these conversations with my manager, and I'm like, you know, I'm really ready for a promotion. Like, why? He was like, you know what? You probably do deserve a promotion. January comes, I do not get a promotion. They had it with another bonus. And at that point, I was just like, I've started to see all these people around me get promotions. The girl that I came into the program with, she had got a promotion. And I was just sitting there like, and my manager had the nerve to tell me like, hey, yeah, we couldn't like give you a promotion because you haven't been in the role for like 3 years. And I'm like, that's BS, because I know people who I graduated with who got the same promotion that I was asking for. And I know it has nothing to do with that. And plus, I made, like, my 3-year was literally probably 4 months later. Like, it wasn't, you know, it was in the same year. So, like, I was like, that is BS. But hey, okay, I'm going to take it, whatever. Then another opportunity came where my boss was like, you know, there's this new opportunity with this new group. It's called Move the Lines. Basically, you'll be doing the same work, but you'll be like helping build this other group up to where we are. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's just do it. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to move out this team. I'm going to, you know, work with different people. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, I took the opportunity. I left that team. I basically have the same role. It was like me and like 3 other people from my team that moved over. And I moved over, I'm doing the same thing or whatever. I'm with the new group and things are going well. I'm not necessarily looking for any positions. I like kind of stopped looking. I was going into the office 3 days a week. I was getting work done. I was being very productive. Like, I was one of the most productive people on our team. Yeah, I was just like, you know what? Maybe I just need to stay here. Maybe I just need to stay where I am and whatever. And I was like, you know what? If it's for me, it'll come to me. God got me. Like, if I'm supposed to move, or if I'm supposed to be in a promotion, or if I'm supposed to be in a certain position, God gonna move me when he's ready. Fast forward, I was working one day and I got this email from this lady that I partner with every now and then. And she was like, hey, we have this position. You know a lot of people. Let me know if anyone is interested. Girl, I'm like, So I clicked it open. I'm like, So I read the qualifications and the job description, y'all. And everything that the job description was saying what was needed in the qualifications, I met every bullet point. I've never met every bullet point in a job description ever. I met every freaking bullet point. And it was basically what I'm doing in my current role, just more on an oversight level. And the pay was 100 times better, like 100 times better. And I was like, God, is this you? So I was nervous at first. I'm like, God, is this you? Like, you putting this directly in my face. Like, you're literally saying here, right? That's how I felt. I felt like God was like, here, on a silver platter. So I responded to the lady. I was like, actually, I'm actually interested in applying. She was like, oh my God, my manager would love to have you. She's like, it's a lot of applicants. If the application closes before you can put in your application, just let me know and I'll tell the recruiter to open it back up. And I was like, what? I was so busy at work that I almost forgot about it. So I logged into work on a Saturday morning and I added in my new resume and I completed the application. But when it was time to turn it in, it was closed. And I was like, oh my gosh, now I just missed an opportunity. But God, right? So fast forward to Monday, I had emailed the lady on Saturday. I was like, hey, the application is closed. Is there any way that I can get it back open? So then she was like, oh yeah, of course. The recruiter pinged me at work and was like, hey, I just opened up the application, put it in, let me know when it's in and I'll close it back up. I was like, God, this is you. Like, they opened it back up for me. It ain't nothing but God. So I put my application in, boom, 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 whatever. Come to find out, there were 70 applicants. 70. So I got the first interview. I was prepping. Girl, I got on this interview call and it was probably, I felt like I did horrible. Let me just say that. I felt like I did horrible. I felt like I was talking too much. You know how you talk too much and you kind of lose context of what you're really trying to say or the answer to your question? That's pretty much what happened. So boom, and then like the interviewer I couldn't really read her, so I couldn't really tell like if my answers were good. And literally in the interview, she said, I don't really understand. I said, I'm definitely not getting a job. Girl, the recruiter, I've never heard a recruiter say, I don't understand what you're saying. After I got off that call, I cried my eyes out. I called my boyfriend and I cried my eyes out. I was just like, I literally did that interview the worst way. And my boyfriend was like, why are you crying? You don't even know. Like, sometimes you feel like you did worse than what you really did. I don't know. I was low-key preparing myself for the rejection. Like, I was so used to rejection at that point. I was just like, you know what? It's okay if I don't get it. If I don't get it, then God said it wasn't for me. Like, that's what I started to replay in my head. I'm like, God said it wasn't for me. So fast forward, I was reading the Bible one day, doing my scripture, having time with God. And I was reading over this story. Ooh, I don't know the story off the top of my head, but I will put the scripture on the screen. But it was a story of where Jesus was walking through the crowd and there was a mom and a dad whose daughter was really, really sick and she was basically dying or so-called dead. And they were basically asking Jesus to come and heal their daughter. And when he got there, there was a crowd outside the people's house, the parents' house or whatever. And Jesus basically told them she's not dead, she's alive. She's not dead. Everybody was laughing at Jesus. Everybody was like, dude, you are you're Coco, okay? You're crazy. Because she's clearly dead. She's clearly flatlined. But Jesus was like, girl, she dead. Jesus walked in there and he told that girl to get up. He told the daughter to get up and she rose up and everybody was shocked. Everybody was like, what? Oh my God, this is a miracle. And what really came to me when I read that passage was God knows things that you don't. God knows the path, the future, the plans before you do. There are just some things that God knows that you don't. And it made me realize, like, even though I think I did horrible in that interview, God had other plans. Like, God already had set in his brain that I was going to get a second interview. And I'm sitting over here boohoo crying. This made me think, I'm like, girl, be faithful. Like, girl, have some faith. Because when everybody else thought that daughter was dead, Jesus, God, they was like, she's alive. And for me, like, even when I thought that interview, that job was dead, God was like, it's alive. It's alive and it's well and it's flourishing for you. And girl, some weeks went by, y'all. So many weeks went by. Maybe like 2 to 3 weeks had went by and I had not heard back. And I was like, oh my God, I had not heard back. I didn't get no rejection email. I didn't know what was going on. And I saw that the recruiter was also out on like PTO or something. So I was like, ugh, okay. So then I got an email for a second interview with the manager, y'all. I was so hyped. I was so excited. I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna do bad on this interview. I prepped so hard, y'all. I ain't never prepped like that for an interview ever in my life, okay? I prepped so hard. And y'all, the interview went so well. Like, it went flawless, seamless. And I asked her, I was like, hey, like, when would I know or hear back? And she was like, oh, you'll hear back in like a week or so. So I was like, a week? Okay, a week? I was just praying to God. I was praying to God, praying to God, praying to God. And not only was I praying to God for this job, but during this time, I also was praying for financial abundance and guidance. And this job, the pay raise that I received for this job will definitely put me in a different financial bracket. I got a call. I got a call on a Friday afternoon. And she was like, you got the job. And I was so happy. I was just thanking God over and over and over and over and over again, because even when I thought my promotion was dead, even when I thought the interview, the job was dead, the opportunity was dead, God was like, it's alive. It is alive for you. Like, I have it for you. I put this on a silver platter just for you. I opened up the application again just for you. I did all these things just for you. I put those qualifications or job description because it fit just for you. And I was so happy, y'all, so excited. I like was almost crying. Like, it was literally, and I've been praying and praying for this for so long. And as you can see, it took me almost 3 to 4 managers later to get to where I wanted to be. And I couldn't have done it without God. This leads me into the topic of this video of remaining faithful during your doubtful season. You want to know how to remain faithful during your doubtful season? Girl, I got you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Number 1, prayer. Prayer, prayer, prayer. And I know this is so cliche, but it's so important. And I think what's more important is that you're praying even when you don't feel like it. Even when you have the worst attitude in the world. Even when you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Even when you had the worst day ever. Pray. Pray about everything in your life. Pray about everything that you do. Pray about every decision, every important decision that you are about to make. Pray about it. There's something about prayer that just eases your mind and brings peace and limits confusion for sure. And when you're praying, don't just pray and ask God for everything on this green earth, because you're supposed to ask. You ask, you will receive. But I think it's also very important that you continue to give thanks of where you are today. That job that you're trying to get out of, you probably prayed for that job a while ago, which is why you are in that job now. And also, to help with prayer, I know a lot of people are like, I don't know how to pray. You know, praying is not my ministry. Praying is not my thing. And the thing about prayer is like learning how to ride a bicycle. The more you do it, the more that you actively train your thoughts and your brain to learn how to pray, the easier it becomes. The longer your prayers become, the more thoughtful they become. You will start to realize that prayer will start to ease your mind, ease your spirit. It will calm your spirit. And when you're doubtful in those seasons, prayer will literally take you out of that. Prayer will put you in a more positive spirit. So instead of saying, oh my God, I keep getting rejected, I'm so sad, praying would allow you to not focus on the negative and just be thankful and grateful for where you are now. Just be grateful and thankful that you even have a job to pay your bills, to get food, etc., etc. So remember, prayer is super important when it comes to remaining faithful in your doubtful season. So this second tip is something that I learned when I joined a group at my church. It was an entrepreneur group, and we were just pretty much introducing ourselves. And I was telling them how, like, you know, I'm in my corporate job, but I also have my entrepreneur business. I was telling them how, like, sometimes when I'm at work and I don't have much work to do, I feel like I can be putting more effort into my business, but work is just kind of taking up so much irrelevant time. And I was just telling them, like, I'm really waiting for God to tell me to quit my job so I can become an entrepreneur. And this is like maybe a year ago. And this young lady asked me, she was like, you know what? Like, even though you feel like you're ready to be a full-time entrepreneur and quit your 9-to-5, she was like, God has you in this season for a reason. You need to figure out why you are there, because maybe you're still there because you haven't learned what God set you there to learn. There's something missing. You're not learning what you need to learn in this season, and that's why you're still in this position. And I was like, clock me, because she was right. She was so right. And it's something that stuck with me to this day. So my tip number 2 is figure out why you are where you are. Figure out what lesson you need to learn in the current season that you're in. You're trying to get out of an apartment that you hate so much. Figure out why God has not moved you yet. Figure out why you're still in the same position. Just like I said, are you still coming to work late? Are you still like not doing your best? Is your apartment still a mess, but you want God to promote you? How can he promote you when you're not even doing the basic necessities and learning lessons that you should be learning in this position? How can you expect God to bless you with a new apartment when you can't even keep the apartment that you have clean and tidy? You need to learn how to be good where you are, and where you are, figure out what is the lesson do I need to learn in this season. And it can be a simple lesson. And I may not have given you the promotion to that job yet because you're late every single day. You do lackluster work. You log on last and log off first every single day. Why do you think you're prepared for the next level up? So in that season, maybe you need to learn how to be more on time. Maybe you need to learn time management. Maybe you need to learn how to speak in meetings and present and speak up. Maybe that's what you need to learn in that season. And that's something that, you know, really registered with me when I got that does not meet expectations on my mid-year review. I was like, oh yeah, God trying to tell me something. And ever since I've been doing my very best to be at work 3 times a week and doing my best at work every single day, putting in 100% every single day. So in this season that you're in, be good where you are. Be excellent. You're a janitor at a school. Okay, that's cool. Be the best janitor that you can be. Be the best teacher that you can be. Learn the lessons that God wants you to learn in this season so he can promote you in the next. Now, the next thing that I think is super important when it comes to remaining faithful in your doubtful season is cutting distractions. Now, distractions don't always mean people. It doesn't always mean social media. Distractions could easily be like alcohol. Maybe you are that person like I was who had to have a sip of wine with dinner every single night. And then you wake up late all the time. Maybe you watch too much TV and don't get no work done. Or maybe you scroll on TikTok every night for hours. Or maybe you talk on the phone with your friends too long, you get distracted and you don't get nothing done. You have to cut these distractions so you can not only focus on your goals and where you should be heading, but also so you can truly hear God, so you can truly hear his voice, truly hear him talk to you. And I'm not saying God's voice isn't always amplified, but it can be simple as, okay, you're sitting in your bed early in the morning and you're just sitting in silence, no distractions, you're just sitting in silence, sitting in your thoughts, and maybe a business idea comes to you, right? These things are not going to come to you. God is not going to be able to speak to you when you're distracted around worldly things, when you're distracted about everything that comes around you. You're drinking a lot. You're watching every TV show possible from sun up to sundown. Like, you need some you time. You need some time to be alone and cut distractions and just be in your thoughts. Have that silent time, meditate, whatever you need to do. Have that prayer time with God and literally just cut those distractions so you can focus on where you are heading. You have to set yourself apart and focus. Cutting distractions will also allow you to remain faithful in those doubtful seasons. And the reason why I say cutting distractions is because when you cut those distractions, your faith is going to be amplified. You're going to allow yourself to speak more positive thoughts. You're going to see yourself in a more confident and mindful spirit. When I am distracted, especially when it comes to Instagram and social media, a lot of these things that I'm seeing on Instagram will allow me to compare myself and all these things. Like, these distractions will literally turn you astray and have you thinking, oh, I'm not gonna get the job, I don't have the new apartment, my hair not done, I look a mess. Like, it will have you worried about the wrong things. Cutting those distractions, remaining focused, speaking positive into yourself will allow you to remain faithful even when you don't want to, even when you don't feel like it, even when you feel like everything is falling apart. Cutting those distractions will allow you to really be in that tunnel vision so you can be prepared for whatever purpose or whatever God has for you. And last but not least, journal your thoughts. Journal everything. You're feeling sad, journal it. If you're feeling like, oh my God, I've been remaining faithful, but I'm starting to not have the faith, or I'm starting to feel doubtful, write it out. Journal it. Journal your thoughts. Journal what comes through your mind. Journaling has been such a game changer for me. I have two journals, one from 2023 and one from 2022. And at the end of every year, I just read back through them. And it's so crazy how some days I'm so up here, some days I'm so down here. And God pulled me out of every situation that I thought was beneath me. Every situation I thought would never even come out, God pulled me through. And journaling your thoughts will also allow you to look back and see what God has done for you. And when you look back and see the things that God has done for you, it will truly make you say, girl, he pulled me out of that. He can definitely pull me out of this. Girl, he pulled me out of that. I don't even know why I'm doubtful right now in this season, because I've been through worse and he pulled me out. So journaling your thoughts not only allows you to be at peace and ease with your mind, but it allows you to remember the things that God has done for you. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget the things that God has done for you. And for me, after I journal and everything, I pray over my journal. I pray over those things. Not only does journaling ease my mind, but after I journal, it allows me to really sit back and reflect, okay, what do I need to pray about? Like, I just talked about all these things. What do I need to pray about? And it allows me to really make clear stances on my prayers. And I think it'll truly help. Some people use journal prompts. I'm not a big journal prompt girl because my days are different. But if you are a journal prompt person, you can literally just Google journal prompts. I think there's people who post journal prompts on TikToks. But for me, I just write what comes to my mind. And I don't necessarily journal every day. I only journal when I feel like my mind is heavy. And that could be you too. So definitely get you a nice little cute journal, a little nice cute pen, and just write out your thoughts. Sometimes I don't even write out my thoughts. Sometimes I just write out, okay, I just read this passage in the Bible. What does this mean? How can I relate this to my life? Journaling is literally like a simple form of therapy. You'll be amazed after writing out your thoughts how better you feel, how a weight is lifted off your shoulders. And kind of like sometimes I write like a diary, or sometimes I write like a letter to God, like, dear God, da 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 da, or dear God, like, I love you, but why did you do this to me? Like, why da 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 da? And ask those questions, and God will start to reveal things to you. And journaling is just that's just one thing that I will always tell people to do, especially when you're so doubtful in this season, when you feel like there's no way out. Journaling, you're gonna look back one day and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought that I wasn't gonna get out of this. Do you see this journal? Like, you're just gonna be so grateful and thankful that you journal. And it'll also allow you to see your progression, like where you came from versus to where you are now. It's literally like writing out your testimony throughout the year. And it's just something that I always do, and I always 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay. Now we are coming close to the end of this video, and I want to leave you all with this. Remaining faithful during a doubtful season is not the easiest thing. And I don't want to say, oh yeah, do all these things, you'll be perfect and everything's gonna be great. No, it's not like that. It's literally it's a journey that you have to be on. It takes time to really understand you and to really understand how you can remain faithful during this season. I think the most important thing when you're in this season is always remember the things that God pulled you out of. Always remember that things could be worse, okay? And just be grateful and thankful for where you are today. I 100% thought I did not get that interview. I 100% thought that this job opportunity was a bust. I think what makes me feel so happy about this job is because even though I had my moments where I was like, oh God, I don't know, I was like, you know what? I still have my moments where I was like, you know what? God gonna pull me through. God gonna show up for me. And he did, y'all. He did. When you're in this doubtful season, don't feel like it's the end of the world, because it's not the end of the world. Keep speaking that positive energy to yourself. Keep praying. Be grateful for where you are. Understand why you are in the season. What lesson do you need to be learning in this season, in this position that you are in? You know, if you keep getting rejection after rejection after rejection, that is not the end, okay? That is not the end all be all. Even though you got rejected, just know that God has something greater for you on the other side. Continue being great at where you are now. Be perfect. Be 100% the best you can be in your position right now, today, and God is going to continue to bless you. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any words of wisdom, or if you have a testimony about rejection or anything similar, please leave it in the comment section below. I would love to open up the dialogue so we can talk to each other and start the conversation. We are on the road to 100K subscribers, so make sure you guys share this video, period. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.